37th Circuit Court is back in session with the Honorable Brian K. Kirkland presiding. It is Tuesday, November 5th, 2024 at 10:58 a.m. This is case number 2024-645 DM, Kelsey Daniel versus Edward Daniel.
Okay. Welcome back. And we did conclude the other matter, so we're ready to commence yours. I guess I just state before we do, Ms. Daniel, I do note in the mediation status report, it shows that you had not paid the mediation fee. You're going to have to pay that within, again, a reasonable time, or what happens, the court will not conclude your case and, in fact, may end up dismissing it if you don't, in fact, pay that fee. So.
Okay, how much is it, sir?
I don't know. You'll have to check with the mediator. All it says is that the fee was not paid. I don't know what the amount was.
Okay, I'll find out.
So you can look at the mediation status report and then contact the mediator.
Okay.
Okay. Ms. Daniel, are you ready to proceed at this point?
Yes, this is for divorce and custody, right, today?
Well, it's the issue concerning the case schedule order showed that custody, support, parenting time, and spousal support were at issue. Mr. Daniel, are you ready to proceed then?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Daniel, you have an opportunity to make an opening statement if you wish to do so, or you can waive the opening statement and just proceed to your proofs.
I can make a statement
Okay.
on certain things about this custody and stuff.
Well, it's what you intend to prove or what you would want. And it helps if you tell me what you'd want so that I make sure that I'm clear on that.
Yeah, what I would want, is what I'm trying to do is get my babies back, or whatever, get custody back of them. Because of their dad being an alcoholic the way he is, I don't feel that they're safe in his care. He drinks from the time he wakes up to the time he goes to sleep, and he drives with them in the car. It's on body cam, because the day that he found out he can get those kids back, Your Honor, he showed up drunk. There was multiple police out there. That's why I was asking for more time for the evidence, because everything's on body cam, and the police wouldn't allow the kids to go, him take the car. They tried making him do a breathalyzer test. He refused. And I don't even let my 3-year-old go over there because of his drinking habits. I feel it's not safe for him to be in Edward's care with him drinking. And Ari still has that mark on her leg from her father. And he's been in multiple car accidents and stuff that due to him drinking. I have all his police records and everything from him being in and out of jail. Just for the police getting called, everything. He is not stable enough to take care of them babies. I think it should be court ordered for him to go to classes to get his drinking under control.
Okay. Anything else, ma'am?
Yes. Ariana and Mara and I did confirm it that and they told CPS that dad gets in the bed naked.
Hold on. Let me kind of set some ground rules so you know. You can't testify. You can't say what other people say. That's hearsay. Okay. So you can only testify as to what you observed or what the other party told you. Otherwise, you'll have to have the witnesses that observe that. They would have to testify. So,
okay.
Go ahead. You can continue.
Yes, and dad does, like I said, well, I won't say the kids because not to bring them up. He does get in bed with the kids naked. He runs around naked in front of them children. That's not a good environment for those children to be in, with him being an alcoholic. And why is he getting in bed with my daughters naked? That is not okay. A parent should never do that.
Okay. Anything else, ma'am?
No.
Okay. Mr. Daniel?
Right now, no.
Mr. Daniel, you can make an opening statement. You can reserve the opening statement, or you can waive your opening statement. What would you like to do?
Can I reserve it?
Yep,
Thank
we'll
you.
reserve it, and then at the time that the plaintiff has concluded her proofs, you'll have a chance to make the opening statement then.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Ms. Daniel, you can proceed. Are you going to testify?
Yes.
Okay. What we'll do is have you raise your right hand and be sworn in, then we'll take some testimony.
Okay.
Solemnly swear, excuse me, do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you are about to give shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What would you like to tell me, ma'am, concerning the issues that are in dispute?
In dispute, basically the custody of the children, like I said. I feel like it would be safer for them to come back home to their mother, someone that's stable. I've been at my job consistently for a year and a half. I'm financially taking care of those kids by myself. This man does not have a job. I'm doing it all by myself. I could give them a better living environment. I could give them good education stuff. I want my kids to go to college. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do none of that. I could be more physically involved in everything that they got going on in their lives as a parent should. He can't provide that for him with the way that he drinks. He's always drunk. He's going to be showing up to everything drunk. The kids are noticing that. We talk. We talk. And I'm noticing that as my children are getting older, my girls are becoming more, they're becoming females now. And I can help them, because they're both hitting puberty right now. And I'm the one that could sit there and explain certain things that they need explaining to them as a woman. Their father can't do that, explain certain things that a woman is going through because he don't know. He's a male. And like I said, I don't feel that it's safe for them to be there with him drinking and driving in that car. I've seen it. He showed up drunk, like I said. It's on body cam. It's still on camera right now. I just fear for my kids. And I feel like it's safe if they just come back home.
Okay. Well, you say come back home.
For good.
Hold on. You say you come back home. How long have the children not been with you?
They went back to their dad's August. It was supposed to be August 16th. That's the day that he showed up drunk. The cops wouldn't allow him to take off with the car.
Okay. Okay, ma'am, hold it. You're getting into a lot of extraneous stuff. I asked you a real simple question. When did the children go to his custody?
The 17th.
17th of what?
August.
August of what?
2024.
So this August.
Yep.
And so when was the last time before August 17th of 2024 that they were in your, not just parenting time or whatever, when were they last in your custody?
He won't let me see them. Last time I seen them.
Ma'am, hold on. I didn't ask you all that. I asked when was the date that they were last in your custody?
17th.
17th of August of 2024?
Yep.
And how long were they with you at that time?
I had got them back in, I think it was May 3rd or May 8th.
Of 2024?
Yeah.
And you say you're working. Where are you working?
I Stanley.
And how much do you work?
40 hours right now. I could do overtime if I want to. I can volunteer, so I could do.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how much do you make per hour?
17 an hour.
Okay. And do you have any insurance that is deducted or any other deductions from your wages?
I will be going up there, not right now, but I'm about to be shut off through the state from insurance, so I will be doing it through my job. I just
Okay.
got a letter in the mail. So yeah, not yet, but I will be. I don't know when.
How much is the premium for the insurance that pertains to the children?
Premium. That I don't know yet because I don't have the booklet on me. It's
Okay.
like in the hand.
Well, at
Yeah.
some point in the future, then, if you don't have it now, then you'll have to file a motion to modify once you know what that expense is, so you can get the deduction.
Okay.
Are there any other deductions from your paycheck?
My 401k. I'm paying some of it back
Okay.
and they're taking someone out.
Do you have any union dues or uniforms or anything like that?
No.
Okay. Okay, so you said back in May, you had the children through the time in August. When did you get them prior to May? Or were they with the defendant in May?
They were with his girlfriend. Actually, he had a head injury. He was in the hospital for about 2 weeks.
Okay.
I didn't know nothing about it at the time until he got back home.
So 2 weeks he was in the hospital. And did he have the children in his care, again, regardless of the 2 weeks?
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I was.
And when did he get them prior to the May date?
He had them. I just got them back in May because of the head injury.
Okay.
So they were in his care, then I got them back.
Okay,
and I had them.
I'm looking for dates, that's all.
Dates, I think, like I said, it was either May 3rd or May.
I know, you said May. I'm saying, I'm trying to look beyond that date.
Of when he was in the hospital?
No. You said the date that you got him back from him. Prior to that, you're saying he had the care of the children. When did he get the care of the children before you got him back in May?
That I don't know, sir. Sorry, I don't know.
Are we talking a matter of months, a year? What are we talking?
I say a year.
Okay. So for 1 year prior to May, so let's say approximately May of 2023, he had the girls in his care.
Yeah.
And during that year, from May approximately of 2023 to May of 2024, how often did you see the children?
I had them every other weekend. No holidays, just every other weekend.
Okay, so up until that time, for that year, you had alternating weekends.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your relationship with the girls.
With the girls, we're close. Me and Ariana, we're like closer than me and Amara. I mean, me and Amara are close, but me and Ari always been close since the day that she was born. Like everywhere I go, she had to go. Like me and her have like a very good bond. Like the day that she went, let's just say the day she went back to her dad, she started crying. I talked to her the other day. She keeps saying, "Mommy, I want to come back."
Ma'am, I don't want you to tell me what the kids say.
Okay, sorry. We're just like really, really close. We have a really good bond, me and the girls. Well, and Lorenzo too. We have a really good bond. Mama's girl for, let's say that Ari's a mama's girl. We're that close.
Okay. How did things go during the year when you were seeing them on alternating weekends?
Pretty good. You mean when I had the kids when they were with me?
Yep, when they were with you for those alternating weekends.
Oh, good. We spend time together, watch movies, joke around, just our normal use of things, bond, talk about cats and stuff like that, because they're into cats. They love cats. Always watch funny cat videos and stuff like that. We'd go, let's say, buy donuts, whatever. Just want to do things whenever we could. Because they know if mommy got it, I'll get it for them, as long as they're good. That's what
Okay,
I tell them. You got to be good.
okay. Okay, in, there's various factors and things that the court has to consider as it relates to parenting time, as well as custody.
Mhm.
And let's say during the year that he had them before May, did you provide any financial assistance to the defendant?
Child support is what I'm doing right now.
Okay,
Yeah.
so during that year, you were paying child support.
Yeah, I'm paying child support right now. The year before, I don't know, but I know now it's been,
Okay,
I don't know.
okay,
It's just confusing.
Okay, but the year, again, I'm going from May of 2023 to May of 2024. Did you provide any financial assistance?
Yeah, child support. I'm paying child support.
Okay, anything else?
Like I said, when I have them, even though I'm still paying child support on them, I still buy them stuff out of pocket too,
Okay,
with the money I do get from after child support being taken. So yeah.
okay. So during the time when they're with you, you provide other assistance.
Yeah.
And let me ask, do you have any religious affiliation?
A Christian, I believe.
No, I mean, do you,
Oh.
you regularly attend church? Do you go and take the kids with you? What happened?
No, not yet, but I'm looking for a church that we can go
Okay.
to.
Okay.
Yep.
And are you living in a home, apartment? What are you living in?
A house. Me and
A
my
house?
boyfriend are getting ready to try to buy a bigger house. Yeah.
And the house that you're in now, you own that?
No. That's why we're looking into buying one that we can own.
When you say were, who is were?
Me and my boyfriend.
Okay.
Yeah. Me and him are looking for a house to buy that's in our names together.
How long have you had the relationship with this boyfriend?
We've been, I'll say 2 years. Yep.
Okay. Do you have any mental, physical health issues?
Just me being anemic. I have anemia. I got that due to my third pregnancy. I was diagnosed with it after I had my third child. I have to basically take iron pills and eat lots of meats and stuff like that, but that's the only health issue.
Okay.
Yeah.
What can you tell me, if anything, about the homeschool or community record of the children?
Oh, the school that they go to?
Yep, anything.
They go to Valley View. They do good. When I did have the kids, Kyrie was getting suspended because he's being naughty, and I corrected it. So I'm pretty sure he's doing good now. I don't know, but it is a very good school that they're going to.
Okay. Was there, in your relationship with the defendant, was there any domestic violence?
Yes.
Okay, tell me what happened.
he would always hit me. He choked me, and it would happen in front of the kids too, always in front of the kids. One time I tried taking off with the kids in the car to go to my mom's house because I had enough, and he made, let's just say my nose was leaking really bad. He had punched me really hard in front of them kids, and they all were screaming and crying. Like every time it would be in front of those kids. So it happened, like, I don't know. It's him drinking and stuff, like I said. He'd get so angry because he would always go out there and cheat on me. So I would say something and something else, I say things and it'd make him mad, and then he'd just flip.
Is there any reason other than you stated that the defendant could not have the custody of the children?
Like I said, him basically the drinking and him getting in bed naked with the kids. That's the only thing that is really serious. Other than that, I don't have nothing.
Okay. Okay. Anything else, ma'am? You have a right to tell me anything you'd like me to be aware of at this point.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and them watching porn at their dad's house. Them just fighting. Every time I'm on the phone, they're fighting. I'm like, y'all need to get along. And I can't say, I don't know how to say this because you said I'm not supposed to bring the kids up because I was told this.
Yeah, you can't say what they've told you.
Yeah, I won't say that then.
Okay. Anything else?
No, not as of right now. I can't think of anything else as of right now.
Okay.
If I think of it, can I say, like, can I tell you if I?
No, we'll get another chance to talk if you want, but
Okay.
you just can't blurt or interrupt to do that.
Right. No, I understand.
Okay. Mr. Daniel, you have an opportunity to ask the plaintiff any questions if you have any at this time.
Oh, yes.
Go ahead.
Yes. Okay. You said I only had kids for a year and you provided financial support through that time, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember when you was ordered to pay child support? Do you remember the month?
Like I said, I don't remember certain things, but as soon as I'm ordered, they automatically take it out.
Yeah. Can you remember if it was at the beginning of this year or was it ordered last year? Do you know?
It wasn't this year. This is 2024, so it was beginning. It had to have been the beginning of last year, maybe. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm being honest.
Oh no, I hear you. You said that my drinking was an issue, correct?
Yes.
And you said the reason why you said the reason why the children had to come to your home was because of alcohol, right?
No. Head injury.
Okay. Thank you for that. And the injury happened on April 30th of this year. And you went and applied for temporary custody 2 days after that? May 2nd, May 3rd?
Do you know, ma'am?
No, like I said, I don't remember. I'm being honest.
Okay. Prior to the May 3rd incident, where was the children residing since they were born?
With both of us. Since they've been born, yes, with both of us. That's the honest, true answer.
So
until
you're
the day
saying
I
that we
left.
have, so you were saying we have a relationship since 2022?
No,
So where was the children residing?
with you until I got on my feet.
And that
Hold on,
last,
just to clarify, again, so back in 2022, because you said in 2023 for that year,
Yeah.
back in 2022, they were residing with defendant as well?
Yes. See all the years. I got a lot going on.
okay.
As I said, I'm confused about certain things. I'm sorry.
I don't know if I'm trying to speak clearly. All right. So from 2022 to um May 3rd of 2024, the children just resided with me, correct?
Yes.
And
So,
I'll alternate weekends, right? We will alternate weekends for all
yes.
4 children on one weekend. Boom, boom. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Was it true that you had the children when the children was in your custody? You had all the girls will get examined, correct?
They didn't get examined by the doctors. No, the CPS told me not to.
Okay.
That is true.
But
It's in the
all right.
report.
Okay.
They
Let me
told me
ask
they
you
wanted
this.
to talk to him
Wasn't
first.
the children was all interviewed asking if us, correct?
Well, sir, you'll have a chance. She's saying she doesn't know. If she doesn't
Okay.
know, you can't badger her. You can testify to that yourself later.
Okay. Okay. Let me see. No, that'll be all my questions for right now.
Okay. As a result of his questions, is there anything else that you'd like to say, ma'am?
Yes. The only reason why they were with their father at that time is because I had no job, no place to go at the time. And then I ended up moving in with my boyfriend. He let us come there because my parents didn't want me there. And now I've been there, like I said, I've been with him for 2 years now. And I had to get on my feet before getting my kids back. If I can't take care of myself, how was I supposed to take care of my kids? I had to make sure I was straight so I can go back for my baby. And now I'm able to do that and stuff. I was trying to just do what's best for my kids, and I felt the best was to hurry up and get a job and then go back for them, and that's what I was trying to do. I was scared because, like I said, with him being an alcoholic and everything, and I didn't know what else to do.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
Okay. Thank you. Ma'am, that's all of your testimony and all of your witnesses, because you did not do any witness disclosure in this particular matter. So that concludes your proofs. Is that correct, ma'am?
Yeah.
Okay, so you rest? Meaning rest. You don't have anything else to present at this time?
Oh, not at this time. Like I said, if I think about it, I'll let you know if you allow me to. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Mr. Daniel, it's your opportunity at this point to present your case. You can start with an opening statement if you wish to make, or you can just waive that and get into your testimony.
I'll start with my opening statement.
Okay, go ahead.
What I'm really seeking here is to have a court schedule, alternating weekends. Since I got out of the hospital, I have not seen my son in this whole entire year. Since April was the last weekend I had him right before the accident until today's date. I put in promotions asking for penalty time, but I got the letter in the mail saying that I'll have to start a whole new motion for that. So unless it's court ordered. So I'm looking for something like that.
And how old is Lorenzo?
He's 3. I really would like to figure out this attack on character because since the children have been since the last time we was in your courtroom and I was granted custody, almost every other month I'd have CPS or the police would be weaponized against me, like to the point where she even had a detective had to come out for our 4-year-old son, because she claimed our 4-year-old son was molesting his sister.
Okay,
They have
sir, why don't, rather than your opening statement, because we're going to need to go
Oh
through.
yeah.
Why don't we
That's
have
it.
you sworn in and then you can testify?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you are about to give shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead and tell me what you want me to know.
All right. So since I've had all the children, well, all three of my three oldest ones since birth. So there was no period like that where she had them for more than like she had them for like 2.5 months this year. But besides that, they've always resided with me. They didn't. The reason why my children are actually with me, as y'all may have gotten to speak to our children, they do not want to. They do not want to reside with their mother because of her verbal or mental abuse. She's diagnosed with bipolar and she's diagnosed with PTSD. So when she has her flare-ups, the kids see it. That's why her and Amara, they get into fights every time they go on the phone. Her and Ariana, we're even I'm really worried about it. We're getting her she's getting set up for counseling because her and her mom have like a really it's more like their best. She's trying to make like a best friend with Ariana, and we've already said that is not good. Um, she keep trying to mention that I'm drinking, but at the courts you see, I have no such arrests like that. Since the only one I ever had was back in 2017, which we went over last time. Besides that, I have no such arrests. I have no such issues with that. But she used that as a way to try to attack my character, and it's very demeaning. She's really upset about the fact that I moved on, and she really dislikes my partner because the children call my partner now mother, and I'm like, kids, that no, we ain't gonna say that. That's her stepmom, but she hated with a passion. She refuses to let me see my son because that's like a way of like punishing me or hurting me. She said there was domestic abuse, but as the courts could see, there was no such thing. All these is like she's trying to shape my character around like the stereotypical abusive, alcoholic dad, whatever. Yet still, me and my children's relationship is amazing. We study every day. Their homework is on point. All my kids are passing greatly in school. Ariana's getting ready to start her after school program. Amar is very artistic, I'm sorry. There's a lot of these things that I'm just not getting where she's coming from, but I understand because as soon as she was ordered to pay child support, it ramped up even more. Like I've had to go through 3 investigations and had to pass all of those. She's weaponizing child protective services and the police officers. We could be at home all sitting down sleeping, and like 2, 3 in the morning, I got to knock at the door from the police, want to do a wellness check. It's going back and forth now, and that's why I'm trying to get done with. I'm tired of that. Trying to think. She said I'm unemployed, but I've been unemployed for the last 2. I've been employed for the last 2 years. I switched jobs 2 years ago. I work third shift now, so I don't know what she's getting. I'm unemployed. I take care of the children's insurance, after school needs, clothing needs. This year, she couldn't even buy them school clothes. When she had them, she stated that my daughter had a bruise from me, but even when we had to do the case with CPS, they was confused as well because I was assaulted by a teenager and suffered a traumatic brain injury, in which case she had called the police to the school. And when I got to the school, the police thought I was intoxicated. I had to go and prove that. That's why there was no charges like that, because that's child endangerment and that's driving under influence. That was all disproven. As soon and like when she called them to that school, the next day or two, she came right up to the court and applied for a temporary custody order. I'm in the hospital. I'm unconscious. For like 2 weeks, I was unconscious. I wanted to spend actually a month and a half in the hospital. But when I got that letter in the mail saying that she was requesting temporary custody, I had asked the hospital if I could be discharged and to have someone take care of me at home. They allowed that. Me and my partner, she was working with me and my kids. She was helping me out with my kids. Child Protective Services came. They wanted to see how I was physically. Next thing you know, I go to the school. She already had the police up there saying that I was intoxicated. I got there, boom. That's how that whole issue started. That too was disproven. Let's see. I really feel like this is not healthy for the children at all. It's because we be sitting there, we been living like a normal life, and like I went and bought the children's cell phones, as she can attest to. I bought both the girls' phones, so if they ever need to talk to their mom and they just want to have fun, talk to their mom, go ahead, go in your room, peace. As soon as my children was placed with her, she immediately took my daughter's phones and broke the other one, so they could have no contact with me. When I wanted to see them, they come up to the hospital to visit me. That was really traumatizing because my children wanted to come see me in the hospital. And because they, like, I really thought, like, all right, let's work this together. We can work together and just talk this out. That's why, when I call and ask her, can, we meet up somewhere so we can see the kids? So you can see the kids. No, that's all she would reply. I asked to see Lorenzo. Well, then she'd be like, he has COVID for 2 weeks. All right. Call again. No, he got head lice. Well, I'm like, well, I can't have the kids over here. I can't have him over here if he got head lice. She continued to try to like alienate me and towards my kids, but my kids are confused, and I really feel like that's detrimental to them, both physically, mentally, and emotionally. I think it's absolutely terrible. The conversation she has with Ariana are highly inappropriate. Our oldest daughter doesn't want anything to do with her. So is our son, Kyrie. They don't want nothing to do with her, but she makes these promises to Ariana in order to try to win her favor, and I don't think that's good. But now even Ariana's starting to see it. The school's been seeing it. Like the school won't really allow her to come to the school to even come pick them up, because when she gets to the school, she's yelling and cussing at teachers. She's screaming at these people. She's threatening these people. She's getting into it with other parents. So I had to take her off the list to go pick up the kids. The school has records of it, and I'm not sure if they still on file. I had that turned in. I really don't like this attack on my character when it's completely false. And I really would like to spend time with my son. We have such a bond, but he's been intentionally withheld from me because she don't want to pay child support. So as a way to punish me, this is what's going on. And that's all I have, sir.
Okay. Well, tell me a little bit about what's your relationship? You know, again, are there exhibited between you and the children signs of love, affection, and other emotional ties?
Yes, sir. We go to the school. They like I get complimented by the principal. The guys counselor was like, they love the way I'm working with my son.
Okay, that's a little bit different because I'm saying, what are this? Are there exhibited signs of love and affection between you and the kids?
Oh yes, all day.
Okay,
Like,
well, how is that manifest? I mean, how is it shown?
every day, my daughter Ariana, she comes up and she give me a hug and kiss before she goes to school, no matter what. My son Kyrie, he likes to come in here and play and wrestle and talk with me. We sit there and like he asks me questions, like if he don't understand something. Both him and Ariana, both him and Amar, both can come. No, they can come and talk to me without feeling judged or biased in any way. I'll call the time. We can sit down. We all come in my room. That's why we'll sit here and watch a movie. We can just all sit down, make a palette, and we'll just watch a movie in my room. Like when it comes to like if they having trouble with school, they'll come and talk to me about how would I handle this situation if somebody was doing this to me. So it's the way is I believe it's the best way to say is manifested. They have absolute trust in me. The love and affection, like I said, not one day my kids don't get up and give me a hug or a kiss. Every day is love you, dad. Talk to you later, dad. Like we just really, really close.
Okay. How you said that you mentioned that I think you said that that you work with them on school. What kind of things do you do?
Well, first of all, I work with the areas of good concern in school. Like Kyrie, he has he's good at he's good at almost all his classes, but he's struggling reading. So we'll sit here and we'll read 30 minutes a day. With like his math, his writing, we'll sit there and I help him learn how to write his penmanship. Amara, she's in 5th grade now. She's starting to have to do a little bit harder math. I sit there and help them with their math homework. Ariana, she's struggling a little bit in her science class. We'll sit there and we'll go through. I'll go through her text. I'll watch. I'll show her some like fun little videos like that. On top of that, I'm helping them with their interpersonal relationships. Like Amara, she's about to be in middle school, and some ways she don't know how to address certain issues at school. Like if maybe she's starting to like develop her own style, and maybe one girl will be like, "Why you wear this? Why you wear that? Why your hair like that?" And so I help them learn how to navigate that. But mostly like now after school, I have them every year. I usually I have them in summer school just to help them out. This year, their mom pulled them out of summer school, but like I always have them in summer school. Um, yeah, that's mostly it. I'm really engaged. Like, we have family functions. I like half of my dining room and the back room is turned into an educational center. As long as I keep them thriving, that's what I'm mostly focused on in the academics.
Okay. Sir, do you have any religion or creed that you practice and involve the children?
Yes, we actually do go to church on Sundays.
And which church do you go to?
Seven Valleys up right here on it's Seven Valleys. What's the name of the street?
What was the name of it? I didn't catch that.
I think it's Seven Valleys. It's on Bedford. It's a Bedford Christian Baptist Church. Right here down the street on Bedford. Let me spell his name out right so I won't mess this up.
Okay.
Yeah, the Bedford Bible Church. Yeah, it's like a 7-day Adventist. I know. I messed that up though. I said it
Okay,
wrong.
so it's not the Baptist church.
No, it's not a Baptist church. We just started going. But I'm Baptist, but I don't want to force nothing on my children.
Okay. Sir, are you able to, you say you're working and you work third shift. Where do you work at?
TRMI,
And how much do you make per hour?
right now it's what? It's 18, it's like 18, like 18 and 1850 between those.
Okay. And are you able to provide for all of the material needs of the children, food, clothing, medical care, et cetera?
Yes, sir. I've been doing it all this time.
Okay. In the house that you reside in, or apartment or whatever you're in, what are you in, a house or apartment?
A house.
And how long have you been in the house?
I've been in this house since 2020,
Okay.
June of 2020.
Is it a house you're buying or you're just renting or what?
It's a rent to own. So I don't know if you want to say buying or renting.
Well, do some portion of the payments that you make, does that go to purchase the house?
What pay? Oh, her child support payments?
No, no.
No.
The payments on the house, you said rent to
Oh
own.
yeah.
So some of it goes towards your purchase?
Yeah.
Okay. How about, I think you said something about having someone else, you have a girlfriend, spouse in the house with you or what?
Yes, sir. I have a girlfriend of a year.
For a year?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any chances that's going to change?
No, sir.
Okay. Have anything that you can tell me? Do you have any thing to tell me as it relates to the plaintiff's moral fitness?
Yes. As I said, she's diagnosed with bipolar and she has diagnosed with PTSD. So her mental health is not at peak level, I should say.
Okay.
Um,
What can you tell me about the homeschooling community record of the children?
oh, they go to Valley View. It's an excellent school. I work with them. I've been sending them to their school since they've been born, pretty much. The community, we live in like a nice, quiet community. There's no crime over here. It's very peaceful. I'm not gonna lie. It's really quiet. The school neighbor that they go to, their neighborhood is really quiet. There's a lot of activities around where they can go to. Like we have like multiple parks over here. We have a water park over there. Let's see, the library events. We have a lot of events going down by the church. There's a lot of things to keep them preoccupied.
Okay. If in fact you were granted custody of the children, Are you willing to work with the plaintiff concerning times that she would have the children with her?
I've attempted that, but I would like that's why I'm asking for a court order, because I continue to try, but when she gets upset, she just refuses to send the kids, or sometimes she refuses to get the kids back. So that's why I was looking for something like in a court order, like where it's like ordered that we gotta do alternating weekends, holidays.
Okay. She had mentioned some instances of domestic violence. Was there domestic violence in your household when the two of you were together?
No, sir, there was no domestic violence. There was a lot of yelling and screaming. We did argue. That's why I had to split it up. But that's why there's no record of domestic violence. I've had the cops called on me multiple times, but then they get there and find out nothing happened. I've had to call the cops on her so we can split it up. But like domestic violence, no.
Okay. Anything else that you'd like me to be aware of, sir?
Not at this moment, Your Honor.
Okay. I see. I guess, Miss Daniel, you have an opportunity to question Mr. Daniel, but I see it's close to noon. Are you going to have a lot of questions for him, do you think?
No, I don't have nothing. I have more to say though. Like I said, I just thought of some more.
Okay. Why don't we do this then? You got more to say and we'll probably do some more. Why don't we take a break for noon? I know you've only been going for about an hour, but we've been going since 8:30. So we'll take a break and then come back at 1:30 and start up.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes,
All right.
sir.
Thank you.
Okay.
The 37th Circuit Court is back in session with the Honorable Brian K. Kirkham presiding. It is Tuesday, November 5th, 2024 at 1:29 p.m. And this is 2024 645 DM, Kelsey Daniel versus Edward Daniel.
Okay. Welcome back and good afternoon. Mr. Daniel, when we ended this morning, you were testifying. I had to get a clarification as it relates to your son Lorenzo. Whose care has he been in for what periods of time?
He's been with Kelsey care for the majority. He's been there since most of this year.
And how did he come to be in her care for most of this year? I'm just saying it's unusual because you have the other children. How did he not? Was he not included with the other children?
Your Honor, you granted me sole legal custody of my 3 older children. You granted Kelsey sole legal custody of Lorenzo.
Okay, but how did that all come about that Lorenzo was with her and not with you?
Oh, when she had left, I'm taking the baby with her. Because he was only like 6 months old. He was being breastfed.
Okay. Sir, before we conclude with you, is there anything else that you'd like to tell me? Anything you've thought about over the lunch hour or that you wanted to address?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Daniel, is there anything else that you would like to ask Mr. Daniel?
No, not to ask him, no.
Okay. Ms. Daniel, you had stated that you had something more to testify to. You understand you're still under oath.
Yes.
And what would you like to tell me?
I have been taking care of all those kids all by myself until I left, the day that I left him. And then I took Lorenzo with me because I was still nursing. That's the only reason why I didn't take the other children, and I only took him at the time because I was still, nursing and stuff. And my parents wouldn't let me bring my other kids because they were in a 1-bedroom at the time. And then I ended up moving in with my boyfriend, trying to find a job, and got a job. I lost it due to pregnancy complications because I lost the baby last year. I had to do a DNC because I was dying. They had to take the baby out to save my life. So I ended up getting a job. Like I said, I was there for 1.5 years already, been consistent at this job. I had never went up to that school causing problems either. Our meetup spot is at the park up from our house. I don't know the name of the park. And we're trying to move into like a 4-bedroom because with me wanting my kids back, the girls can either share a room or get their own room, and the boys share a room. And it is on record that when I was pregnant with Kyrie, Edward had kicked me in my stomach. He went to jail, but the reason why he got let go is because I never pressed charges and the baby was fine. They had me in the hospital for hours to keep an eye on the baby to see if there was any damage done, but there was nothing. He didn't kick me as hard as I thought he did. And sorry. I'm tired. I think I had it. It was right. And he was on probation. That's what it was. I was thinking about it. I had to think of the right words to say so it come out right. Sorry. And when he was on probation for the alcohol, because he went to jail for that, he made me blow in his little breathalyzer thing. I don't know what it's called. But if I didn't do it, he would get mad because they have me on picture doing it. And then he ended up back in jail because he failed that test. For him being an alcoholic. And I do not talk to my kids inappropriately when I talk to them. Like he said, that is a lie. When I got those kids back, they were skin and bones. They started gaining weight because we cooked everything that they liked. And my boyfriend he would help too. Like we would rotate days. Like one day I'd cook, the next day he'd cook. They had come to me cursing and talking inappropriate. And we shut it down that same day. Ever since they stopped cursing, even the daycare lady, they was going to the daycare lady's house for the months that I had them. And she even helped me shut it down and got them on the right track and helped them to gain weight and stuff like that. And you could see the difference in between Lorenzo and them other kids. Renzo is a well-behaved, mannered little boy. Like I couldn't bring no witness, obviously, because I didn't get a chance to do what I needed to do at the time. But the daycare lady, if I would have brought her, she would have told you the difference between those kids. The other kids, they were out of control, everything, fighting, everything. And I got it under control like I needed to. And they never cursed. They stopped talking inappropriately. They behaved. We took them to parks. We took them to the beach, took them to go buy toys, whatever they wanted, I'd get for them.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
Okay. And okay. Mr. Daniel, just because you're concluded, do you rest your case then?
I would like to say everything she said was false.
Okay.
Then I'll rest my case with that.
Okay. Thank you. Well, that concludes the proofs in this matter. You'll have an opportunity, and I'll let you have, I mean, you've kind of done this all the way through, but I'll give you each an opportunity to at least make a closing argument. So, Ms. Daniel, you can make your closing argument at this time.
Okay, I'm not understanding. I'm sorry. I'm confused on that one.
Well,
like, what do I gotta, I'm sorry.
Well, a closing argument is just that. You argue, you give the summation and the closing of your case.
Like basically that my stuff is true or something, like everything I'm saying?
Well, again, I can't take you through a closing argument. So it's just, it's a time when, you know, at the start of the case, you did an opening statement that shows what you were going to prove, what you had to establish. Your closing argument is to explain what the testimony and the evidence was to substantiate what you argued.
Basically I don't know.
Okay, well, that's fine. You don't have to give a closing. Okay, Mr. Daniel, do you have a closing argument to make?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay, so that concludes the actually the evidence and the testimony and proofs in this case. Court will state, as I do in each case, that credibility is a consideration in every case. Oftentimes, a party will allege that the other party or one of their witnesses is not truthful or is lying. Although the court has found that inconsistencies in testimony does not mean that an individual has lied. Conflicting testimony can occur as a result of the witness's background, perception, bias, understanding, misunderstanding, or simply by mistake. When inconsistencies occur, the court will attempt to determine if they can be reconciled by other testimony or evidence. There was obviously inconsistent testimony in this particular case. Unfortunately, there was not any other evidence that the court could look to again, to try to reconcile those consistencies. I would state in this particular case, unfortunately, there were allegations in the case. The allegations were not substantiated by other testimony or other evidence, but the court simply would have to rely in some cases on just the testimony of each of the parties, which is oftentimes self-serving. And the court found some of that testimony to be self-serving in this case as well. But I could, again, make a determination through some of the testimony, and I will attempt to do that as I address the testimony. In these cases, deciding custody, the first thing that the court has to decide and determine is whether there's an established custodial environment. An established custodial environment exists if over an appreciable time, the child or children naturally look to the custodian in that environment for guidance, discipline, necessities of life, and parental comfort. The statute provides that the age of the child, the physical environment, and the inclination of the custodian of the child as to the permanency of the relationship shall be considered. In this particular matter, the court is going to address the children separately because obviously for reasons that will become obvious as we state in this matter. When I look at the case, the testimony has been that, again, the three older children, Mara, Ariana, and Kyrie, have been effectively in the care of the defendant for, again, other than a couple months when the plaintiff took the children and didn't give them back from, I think, approximately May to August of this year. Up until those times, for the 2 years prior to that, the kids have been in the care of the defendant. And again, the testimony of both of the parties will confirm that particular situation. However, the cases are with Lorenzo, that Lorenzo had been pretty much in the care of the plaintiff the entire time because, again, he was nursing at the time that the parties separated, and she was obviously in the position to be the one nursing, so the child had stayed with her and continued to stay with her. Testimony in this case is that, again, the children, I think we'll get into that a little bit later as far as school, that they have, as Mr. Daniel had stated, they have some challenges in school, but for the most part, they're doing well. And again, that they're continuing to make progress in that particular matter, that the three older children, again, have been in his care, again, at least the last 2 years, maybe longer, and that he has a good relationship with them. He talked about how if they have a problem at school, that they will talk to him. If there are other issues that are troubling them, that they'll talk to him. So clearly they look to him for guidance in this matter. I talked about disciplining them, that he would simply, there'd be timeouts that he would talk to them, etc. And it does appear in this particular matter that they do look to him for those necessities, the parental comfort, and the permanencies of the relationship. As a result, the court will find that the three older children, that there is an established custodial environment with the defendant, Mr. Daniel. As it relates to Lorenzo, again, he's been stated solely in the care of the plaintiff mother, and likewise, he's very young still, and but appears that based upon what I can discern from the testimony, and again, I'll say the testimony in this case was very scant as to all of the best interest factors, and it's made it very difficult for the court to make a determination because of the fact that there was just very little testimony and evidence presented by either party in this case. But as it relates to Lorenzo, it does appear that the established custodial environment with him is in the care of the plaintiff mother. Why is that important? When there's an established custodial environment, the court cannot modify that established custodial environment unless there's presented clear and convincing evidence. Clear and convincing evidence is evidence which produces in the mind of the trier of fact a firm belief or conviction as to the truth of the allegations sought to be established, evidence so clear, direct, weighty, and convincing as to enable the court to come to a clear conviction without hesitancy of the facts in issue. So the court will decide it on that basis. As I go through the best interest factors that I'm required to do so under MCL 722.23, I'll have to address the children separately because of the established custodial environment. The first factor the court has to look at is the love, affection, other emotional ties existing between the parties involved and the children. In this case, the parties talked about they're bonded with the children. The defendant talked about that, between children, there's hugs, kisses, that they say, I love you. And the mom had testified to the same thing in this matter. And we really didn't hear anything as it related to Lorenzo and this, in that particular factor. The court will find that this factor weighs equally as to both parties. Next factor is the capacity and disposition of the parties involved to provide the children with love, affection, guidance, and continuation in the education, raising them in a particular religion or creed. In this case, the plaintiff testified she had no religious involvement, that she was looking for a church. The defendant had testified he went to the Bedford Bible Church, and that's where he would take the kids. He also testified about schooling at Valley View, that it's a good school, that he, in fact, works with the kids and provides them with, again, the continuation of their education, helping them with issues that and areas of this education that they're having difficulties with. So capacity and disposition are two different things. Capacity, most people have capacity. It's the disposition. It does appear that the defendant does have a slight advantage in this for the reasons stated, so the court will find a slight advantage to him concerning this factor. Next factor is the capacity and disposition of the parties involved to provide the children with food, clothing, medical care, and other remedial care recognized in the state in place of medical care and other material needs. It does appear that when the children have been with both parties, they've provided for the material needs. They both are working, have decent jobs, so they are able to provide that. The court will find that this does not weigh in favor of either of the parties as it relates to either of the children. Next factor is the length of time the children have lived in a stable, satisfactory environment, and the desirability of maintaining continuity. In this case, Lorenzo obviously has been with mom for a good portion of his life. And there's also the testimony of the defendant, in this case, that he is in the house that he's in. It's a rent to own. He's been there since 2020. And so it does appear to be stable as well. The court will find that this factor does not favor either party. They're both equal. Next factor is the permanency of the family unit, the existing or proposed custodial homes. Again, both parties have a significant other. They've had that significant other for a period of time. I think the plaintiff stated for 2 years. The defendant, I think, was for 1 year. And there's no testimony about any change in that, so the court will find this factor to be equal as to both parties. Next factor was the moral fitness of the parties involved. The court notes that the plaintiff has alleged and raised the issue of alcoholism, but the court will note that she has not substantiated that with any other evidence, and as stated, that simply could be self-serving, as she's not provided any other, I guess you'd say, documented evidence to that point, other than alleging, I think she alleged there was one offense, I think apparently drinking driving, that occurred back in 2017. And I think that the defendant acknowledged that, but that obviously is substantially old, and the court would not put a lot of weight on it, as the court typically will weigh more evidence if it's more recent. So something that happened 6 months ago is more important than something that happened 6 years ago, or, you know, something to that extent. So the court will find in this case that this factor does not weigh in favor of either party. Next factor is the mental and physical health of the parties. The defendant has testified that plaintiff has PTSD and she's bipolar, and that's created some of the problems. But again, that he's not produced any evidence to substantiate that. So the court can't simply consider it based upon his testimony, as he's not a medical provider. He doesn't have the credentials or the ability to make those assessments, and we have not been provided with anything else. So the court will find in this case that the parties are equal as to the mental and physical health. Next issue, the homeschool and community record of the children. Obviously, Lorenzo's too young. He's not in school, and so it would not be applicable to him. He's not involved in the community. So his only part of this would reference the home environment. And because he's only effectively been in the home of the plaintiff, the court will find that that factor favors plaintiff as to Lorenzo. As to the other children, there's a home environment that they have in the defendant's home. Likewise, he's testified about his involvement in school, and again, helping them with schoolwork, helping them with all of the other issues that go along with school, as he talked about interpersonal assistance when they're having trouble, that he helps them to deal with that. And obviously, as it relates to Amara, especially as she's getting to be a teenager, that is more prevalent for children that are in their teenage years. So the court will find that this factor does favor the defendant father. Next factor is the reasonable preference of the children. If the court considers them to be a sufficient age to express a preference, I did have an opportunity to interview the children, and the court is taking their preference into consideration in this case. Next factor is the willingness and ability of each of the parents to facilitate and encourage a close and continued parent-child relationship between the child and the other parent. It does appear that the parties have attempted to work out and to resolve some issues concerning the children, but the court does note that after the defendant had his injury, I think it was about in April, that in May, the plaintiff took the children, and then it took him coming to court to get them back, notwithstanding that the fact that they'd been with him for about 2 years. The court will find that this factor does favor the defendant father. Next factor is domestic violence, regardless of whether the violence was directed against or witnessed by the children. There's been allegation again by the plaintiff that there's been domestic violence, but there's been no substantiation of that. And again, quite frankly, the court questions whether that in fact has occurred in this case as alleged by the plaintiff. As a result, the court will not consider that factor in this case. Next is any other factor considered by the court relevant to a particular dispute. The court has not found any other factors to be relevant to the dispute in this case. Other than the fact that I guess I would note that since the order went into place, the plaintiff has had this, what we call the standard parenting time with the children. It appears to be the three older children, at least appears to be working, but the court will note that the plaintiff, the defendant, has alleged that he has not been able to see Lorenzo and that plaintiff has kept Lorenzo from him. Although, again, that's the only testimony. We don't have anything else to corroborate that. So the court's doing the best based upon what we have to be able to try to determine that particular point. When the court looks at all the other testimony, I'm not going to reiterate everything that was said, or we'd be here as long as we were to give the testimony. I'm just summarizing that. Based upon this, the court has to determine it based upon the burden of proof, which is clear and convincing evidence. The court does not believe that there is clear and convincing evidence to change custody in this case. As a result, the court will grant the custody of the three older, Amara, Ariana, and Kyrie, to the defendant father, and will grant custody of Lorenzo to plaintiff mother. In each case, the court by statute has to determine whether the parties can, in fact, should be granted joint custody. Joint legal custody is something that the parties can get if, in fact, they are able to generally agree as to important issues concerning those children's lives. In this case, there's not been any testimony about substantial conflicts or that the parties couldn't agree. The court will note, too, oftentimes as the parties are going through the proceedings, they oftentimes are at odds so that they can't maybe agree, but after the proceedings are over, they have a tendency to look out after the children's best interest and come to an agreement. So I think that the parties do have an opportunity, can agree as to important decisions. So what the court is going to do is grant to the parties joint legal custody of all children. But as I stated, physical custody, Lorenzo to mom and the other three to the defendant father. What the court has to do then is next look at parenting time. Parenting time is governed by statute MCL 722.27A. The court is required to look at the factors under the statute, and the factors under the statute, the first one is special circumstances or needs of the child. The court does not deem either any of the children to be of special needs, so the court won't consider that. Next is whether any of the children are underage. One, they're not. Next is whether likelihood of abuse or neglect of a child during parenting time. There's been no testimony or allegations about abuse, so the court will not consider that. Next is likelihood of abuse of a parent during the exercise of parenting time. There's been, again, no allegation of that other than the testimony, as I already alluded to, as domestic violence. Next factor is the inconvenience or burdensome impact of travel. There doesn't appear to be any of those issues in this case. Next is whether a parent has frequently failed to exercise parenting time. The court will not find that that has occurred to the ordered time. And whether the parents are reasonably expected to exercise parenting time. Court does believe that as based upon the short history in this case with the order that the parties would exercise the parenting time that's been awarded to them. Next is threatened or actual detention of a child. Court does believe that there's some allegation of that there's some substance to it as it relates to Lorenzo, so the court will consider that. Next is any other factors that the court deems to be relevant in this particular case. When I weigh all of that, the court does believe that court can make a determination as it relates to parenting time. The court will award to each party parenting time to the child not in their custody on alternating weekly basis. So how that will work out is when Miss Daniel has the 3 on her alternating weekend, she'd also have Lorenzo. And on the other weekend, when Mr. Daniel has the kids, the Lorenzo would be with him. Likewise, the court will order that the parties have alternating holidays. And again, Lorenzo and the other 3 would each exercise the holiday such that they are together at that particular time. The court would grant to the parties 1/2 of the Christmas vacation period, alternating spring break, and the summertime. The summertime will be divided in alternating weeks, and it'll be reflected by the school schedule where the parties reside, where the child resides. And so it'll occur. I'm going to do it this way because it's going to be way too hard to do that with maybe separate school districts. The court will have the school holidays follow the school district where the 3 older children are residing. That way we don't get confusion about where the children are supposed to be or who's supposed to be, but it'll follow the school district of the 3 older children. So that, and in the summer, that usually starts at 6:00 p.m. on Friday when the school is out for the summer, and then concludes on Sunday at 6:00 p.m. the day before they go back to school. And the court would alternate that in alternating weekly basis. Court has to decide issues of child support as well. In this case, the plaintiff has testified that she works at I.I. Stanley, works 40 hours a week. She makes $17 an hour, and she has no deductions. Court notes that the defendant works at TRMI, that he makes, he said 18 to 18.50 per hour. The court's going to split the difference, go to 18.25 an hour, and have that at full-time employment as well. And that would be based upon, under a standard parenting time schedule, it's based upon, for instance, the 3 older children, that would be based upon the plaintiff having 92 overnights on those 3 children. And likewise, on the defendant, his support would be calculated based upon 92 overnights with Lorenzo. And that's based upon the standard schedule that we've talked about in this matter. You'd each be entitled to receive a midweek parenting time. That would vary so that we have the kids together again. So if the parties can't agree as to the midweek, the court will state that the plaintiff shall exercise her midweek with the children, the 3 older children, on Tuesdays from 4 to 8. And then with the Lorenzo, that the defendant would exercise his on Wednesday from 4 to 8, so that the children would be together. Ms. Daniel, because you are the plaintiff, you're unfortunately going to have the job. You have to prepare the judgment of divorce in this matter. The court will find that the testimony did establish that there was, again, the statutory basis for granting a divorce had been met. there has been a breakdown of the marital relationship, so the court will grant the divorce in this case. Ma'am, you're gonna have to prepare a judgment of divorce, which will set forth the custody, set forth parenting time, and then you'll have to prepare a uniform child support order, which will reflect the divided custody. Going to be a little bit more complicated, but you can always, I don't know if you've used a service, but you can go to michiganlegalhelp.org and they have all the forms online so you can get into that. But because you have alternating in different custody, that's going to be a little bit more difficult, but it still can be done. And if you need assistance, you can always contact the front of the court's office and somebody there can assist you in helping you prepare those particular documents. You'll have to prepare the judgment of divorce, the uniform child support order, and the judgment information form. And once you have those completed, you'll have to provide those to the front of the court for their approval. I will tell you, oftentimes they will object because you haven't included something that's required to be included. And if so, then you'd have to resubmit it. And then once the front of the court's approved, you can submit that to Mr. Daniel and he can review it. If he approves it, then you can submit it to the court and the court will enter it at that time. But it's something that you're going to need to work on and get done because it takes a little time to prepare. And if you delay too long in this case, the case could end up getting dismissed. So wouldn't want to have that happen after all you've been through. Before we conclude, I'll ask Ms. Daniel, is there anything that you believe the court has not addressed or needs to address before we conclude?
No.
Okay. You can put because we didn't have any issues as it relates to property. You can simply put a provision in there that each of the party would keep all the property that they have in their own individual possession, free and clear of any claim of the other party. Likewise, each party would be responsible for any debts in their individual names or encumbering any assets they are to receive. So if you have a loan on a car, you got to pay that.
Right. I do have a question. What about the tax? Like who could claim the kids on their taxes?
Well, what that is that's taken care of through the IRS code. The IRS code provides that a parent with custody, meaning that they have the children a greater period of the year, that they're entitled to the dependency deduction. So Mr. Daniel would be entitled to the deduction on the 3 children. You'd be entitled to the deduction on Lorenzo. You don't have to address it because it's in the, well, why don't you put it in so we don't have that dispute? Just put in that he gets it on the 3, you get it on the 1, and then it's not an issue that comes back in the future.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else, Ms. Daniel?
Nope.
Mr. Daniel, is there anything you believe the court needs to address or has not addressed before we conclude?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you. I wish you both the best, and I hope everything works out for you as you go forward.